befitting his grandeur, befitting his sublimity. We need to know what is God. Because, at least in America, I don't know about here, millions and millions of dollars are won in court every year for libel and slander. People are always getting, as we say, paid in full in the States. Always getting paid in full by making statements that are libelous and slanderous. Now, we ask you, as fellow believers in God, who would want to stand in that court, proverbially speaking, in front of the judge of all judges, having libeled him or slandered him, saying things about him that he didn't say about himself, slandering the Lord of the worlds? It's not like slandering or making a libel statement against the Queen of England or the president or the prime minister. Now we're talking about God, saying things about God that's not justified, that diminishes his sublimity and his magnificence, his highness and his loftiness, bringing him down to a mere anthropomorphic creature, bringing him down to a lowly state of an animal, saying that he eats or he sleeps or that he dies or that he suffers. So in Islam, we separate the two. There is the creator and there is the creation. One is infinite and the other one is finite, no matter what part of the creation it may be. One is infinite, has no needs. And if he has no needs, that means he has no need for a wife. He has no need for a mother. He has no need for a son, because he says in his book, whether it is the Bible or the Quran, he says in those terms, in the language that it was revealed, kun fayakun, be and it will be. That's it. So before we attempt to discuss our duties toward him, we need to know exactly what he is. And we need to know exactly what he is not, so we won't be taken to court on that day, of which every single human being, no matter what religious persuasion they may be of, you will, dear listeners, you and I, we will stand in front of him. So we might as well get it together now and give him, as we say in the States, and you may have that expression here, to give him his props, to give him his rights, as the Prophet Muhammad has stated to us. He said, "A'ti kulla dhi haqqin haqqahu." Give everything that has rights its rights. The birds have rights, the ground has rights, water has rights, electricity has rights. Our neighbors, whether they are Hindu or homosexual, they have rights in Islam. The one that has the most right is God. No right of God should ever be violated or put on the back burner. And he has the most important of all his rights, is that he should be singled out in worship by himself, with no partners, no associates, no helpers, etc. Because the punishment is great. The punishment for violating the rights of God is tremendous. It's a tremendous punishment. Contrary to popular belief, Muslims do not desire that any human being be sent to the blazing hellfire. And this is something that we find even in the media, that Muslims, we've taken the place of the IRA in Ireland, we've taken the place of Tamil Tigers, we've taken the place of all of these people, the kamikazes and the great of the past. The Muslims are now the new terrorists. And the media depicts the Muslims and Islam as people and a religion of terrorism. and that every single Muslim has in the depths of his heart the desire that every single person goes to hell. This is contrary to everything that Islam stands for. Contrary to popular belief, we the Muslims do not want to see anyone go to hell. And once again, that's one of the reasons why we don't have Muslims involved in the questions and answers. I was in a mosque in Colorado last year, and I stated, after raising my hand and had the Muslims, it was only the Muslim audience in the mosque, which of you would like to see, and this is before Obama, would like to see Bush accept Islam and go to paradise, and Condoleezza Rice, and Cheney, and Rumsfeld? And the majority of the people raised their hand, and one brother, he raised his hand. He said, no, I want them all to go to hell. But this is not the Islamic belief, and I had to correct him. And I was very happy that the microphone, the recording device was working. You know, when I get back on the plane, I don't have any problems. We do not desire to see any person go to hell. Anyone. We don't care who it is. But that's not up to us. That's up to the one who created Moses, who created Jesus, who created Abraham, who created Muhammad, who created everything. We don't care if that person is an atheist. We do not want to see anyone go to hell. In the book of Exodus, it says, and God spoke all these words. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. You shall have no other gods beside me. You shall not make yourself an idol in the form of anything. This is the book of Exodus, inshallah, if I'm correct, chapter 20, verses 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 4, you shall not make for yourself an idol in the form of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters below. Verse 5, you shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. Dear listeners, when we talk about the religion of Christ Jesus, may Allah, God, raise him in rank and grant him peace, because he is dear to us. In fact, the Muslims, we believe that we respect and hold him dearer than the Christians. In fact, I'm sure we do, because we put him in his proper place. We don't put him above his status, nor do we drag him down beneath his status. He is the Messiah, born of the Immaculate Conception. This is a primary Muslim belief. We believe in the return, of which some Christians call the second coming. We believe in his return. And we believe that he was sinless, with a special birth, as we mentioned. Listening to these words from the book of Exodus, how could it be that someone would say that the religion of Christ Jesus is anything other than submission, total and absolute submission to the Lord of the worlds? No one in their right mind, hearing these verses, could say that Jesus, the Christ Jesus, would call someone to worship anything except the one who sent him. In fact, we would challenge any, not layman, but any theologian to bring us one verse from any version or translation of the Bible that Jesus said, I am God, explicitly, I am God, or worship me. One verse, explicit. Not a verse that has to be supported by other verses that are implicit. One verse where he said, and we have questions and answers, of course, at the end, I am God. Or he said, worship me.